All other coins are shitcoin. Welcome to Unrelenting, episode number 27 for, May 20th, 2022. I am Darren O'Neill. And what's going on over there in the Soviet Union, Gene?
In the Soviet Union?
We're a time-traveling podcast.
Yeah, apparently.
Gene exists in the 1980s in the Soviet Union.
We are kind of fast getting to the 1980s, aren't we?
Yeah, the No Agenda show keeps talking about how it's a 1970s redux.
Mm-hmm.
I think we may be moving to the 80s. Just
well,
to guess.
It's 70s, it's definitely late 70s.
In the 80s, music was better, as was the fashion. It was
better. Oh, dude, there's not many things that were not better in the 80s. The 80s were the penultimate decade.
Wow. That's a pretty impressive call.
Oh, it's absolutely true.
I will not argue.
It was the decade of good music. It was when the computers were born and became available.
Well, that's true.
It was much better fashion.
Well, that's when the information age started.
I mean, for like people, that's when it started really growing. I mean, the government had computers before then, and like for military shit, and IBM was around and all that. But really, and certainly Apple computer came out in the 70s, but the 80s is when everything really started.
Hey, in the 1980s, I had a 300 baud acoustic coupler modem. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, and I was benching 340 pounds back in the 80s.
Well, I mean, you were a much younger man then. You were only in your 50s.
Yeah, it was easier to do that back then, for sure.
That's when phreaking was big. Message boards, bulletin board systems.
Bulletin boards, yes. I ran one of those.
I believe it. Now, was it just a simple one modem in, or
no,
would you ever?
Of course not.
You went to the multiple. That was the harder part.
Yeah. Multiple lines in. I had online games people could play. I had some gambling action going on.
Hey, now.
Yeah. And I still am friends with people that I met on that bulletin board.
It was a different time.
It was.
I remember being in a chat room.
Yeah.
Here,
there's a good documentary that people can watch on the 80s in case you missed it and you were unfortunate enough to be born later. It's called The Americans.
Oh, the show.
Yeah, I think they did a great job. I mean, there's the archival footage they're using is pretty damn good.
And you can mix in war games.
Yeah, War Games was the very beginning there. I mean, that, like most Hollywood things, tend to anthropomorphize computers, but it did have Ali Sheedy in it.
Right. But I remember the first
that goes a long way.
Chat room. So this is the first IRC type experience I ever had. Was, I believe it was 8 or 10 connections that could be in the room at the same time. Because again, this was going back to however many modems the dude running the thing had.
Yes.
And you were limited
not cheap.
to like 5 or 10 minutes at a time, which wouldn't that be a great thing today? If everybody could only go on the internet for like 5 or 10 minutes and then you had to like hang up and try to get back on.
Yeah. Well, and you also had CompuServe and
right.
You know, the what was the GE something? I can't remember what it was called.
I don't remember GE. We had CompuServe for a while.
Genie, that's what it was.
I don't remember Genie.
Yeah, Genie was run by GE. That's why it was called Genie.
So, they're not good with names.
No, not really. Their other property was NBC.
But CompuServe was kind of an important part of the computer history.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was $9 an hour. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember it was.
By the way, in early 80s money, that'd be like $35 an hour right now.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I remember that was it because I had only a certain amount of time that I could use it because it wasn't free. Not like now. Everybody wants everything free all the time.
I'm actually drinking something right from the 80s right now.
You had something in the hidden in the back?
I found an old V8.
What was the expiration date?
Let's see.
Like 1987. It's going to be
June
fine.
88. Yeah, June 88.
It's at Best Buy, though. As long as it doesn't say, used by. It just says
I don't
Best
think
Buy.
those cans really go bad, though.
No, well, that could be an argument for that.
Well, we'll find out. If I'm not here next week, I guess it went bad.
That'd be the way you want to go out, though.
It tastes like a V8. I don't know.
Do canned food?
Do people know what a
bad?
V8 is?
It's still around. Don't people? They still make V8s,
I
don't
wasn't
they?
sure. You're asking me. I don't know.
There are so many of these things out now. All these drinks that they're putting out with 14 different fruits and vegetables in one serving.
Well, the thing about V8 that was interesting back then is they basically made a Bloody Mary for kids.
That is pretty much what
It's
a V8
effectively
was.
a Bloody Mary. It's the non-alcoholic portion of a Bloody Mary.
Just
And
throw
they
in
marketed
some vodka.
Yeah, you just add a little vodka and you're good to go. But they marketed it as a healthy drink because it contained 10% juice.
Well, there was more that was like the first of the health drinks that we took a bunch of vegetables and put them in a blender for you.
Well, that's the way they sold it, of course.
So that wasn't the reality. I never paid
It was
attention.
It was rehydrated vegetable powders.
Oh, that sounds less delightful
Yeah,
and
it's
delicious.
basically if you add 90% water to 10% powder, you end up with a V8 drink.
So now you should just buy the powder and mix it with a little water.
I think they probably sell that directly now. Yeah, you can get that right on Amazon.
You see some of the stuff like that, including the Buble water, which is nothing but kind of tonic water that has a little bit of flavoring to it. You can buy just the flavor.
Sounds like LaCrosse.
Kind of. Yeah. LaCroix.
Which was around in the 80s.
Yes. But you can buy just the little things now and flavor your own water. So if you have one of those machines that can carbonate
Crystal
your water.
Light used to have those little packets back in the 80s.
It's the magic, like the less they can put in a package, and the Buble
I don't think there's anything around today that wasn't around in the 80s. Come think of it.
We have not come up with a whole lot of new concepts for food, except more preservatives and to put less in each bag or container, whatever that may be.
It increased in the 2000s and it's definitely decreasing right now. I'm not complaining, honestly, because restaurants keeping prices and reducing size of portions is perfectly fine by me.
Depending on the restaurant. I mean, there were most of them, you're absolutely right, were giving way too much food. And then they wonder why we have an obesity epidemic.
Yeah.
Because you go in and you order, I'll have a turkey club and some fries, and you get enough food to feed like a family of 6.
Yeah, and everything's based on corn sweetener.
Well, the high fructose corn syrup is evil.
Yeah.
You want to go with real sugar.
I watched a very interesting video that kind of relates to that. It was a interview between 2 doctors, and one of them wrote a book about uric acid and how uric acid has been misunderstood by the medical community because people only really thought of it as a side effect of a type of diet that ends up, if not controlled, getting too high concentration in the blood and then precipitating out and becoming gout. I mean, that's essentially what gout is when uric acid precipitates out of blood and starts to crystallize.
Yeah, and I've heard that's painful.
Oh my God. I've had that. It's really bad. Your feet feel like there are needles that are in them at the depth of the joints.
Oh,
and any slight movement of your toes, of course, immediately, sends an electric little jolt, like a needle is in the nerve there.
So it's the kind of malady that will actually get people to change their behavior because it is so.
Yeah, I've definitely cut down on foods that cause that type of inflammation.
Well, see, that's good.
Which are typically foods high in nitrates. But what was interesting to hear from this doctor is the history, and now what at least the theory of the history that they've come up with in the metabolic interaction of uric acid. So uric acid is actually a trigger in your body to increase insulin resistance. And what do we call increased insulin resistance?
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Very good. Very good. So uric acid effectively, I don't want to say causes diabetes, but it essentially creates the effect of diabetes. So if you're constantly running high in uric acid, you will effectively get diabetes, or you will experience, I should say, diabetes, because the high concentration of uric acid will make your body be less sensitive to insulin, which means at some point your body's just not going to be able to keep increasing the insulin production, and you will stop being able to absorb as much sugar, which is insulin is used for absorbing sugar into your cells. And if you can't absorb the sugar, but you're still eating it, then two things occur. One is your organs, including your brain, are not not getting enough sugar, which is not good. And the concentration of sugar in your blood is increased. And when that concentration is high, and actually remove the brain from my last remark, because the brain is getting the sugar. It's coming through the blood-brain barrier, but it's not coming through the cellular barriers if there isn't insulin, or if there's too much insulin resistance. And so the only thing that's getting sugar is brain and nervous system, and you're effectively overdriving it. It's like running oxygen rich in your engine. If anybody still works on engines and understands the analogy, if you're running oxygen rich, your temperatures go up significantly, and you're much more likely to blow out the engine, to blow out various parts that are not meant to work past a certain temperature within the car. So you're better off running fuel rich rather than oxygen rich, because while that can gum things up, you can always clean that. The engine won't be destroyed. But if you're running oxygen rich, you can literally burn that engine out, or burn through components, your head gaskets, all kinds of things.
Blow it all up.
Yeah, so I'm using
fast,
car
die
as
hard.
an analogy for the people. But so here's the most interesting part of this whole explanation I'm giving is the reason now they've determined that uric acid causes a resistance to insulin is a by design, or by evolution rather, mechanism that allowed our ancestors to store more fat, which is, by the way, one of the side effects of diabetes is it's really easy to accumulate fat, and it's really hard to burn fat. And so this was a mechanism that got triggered when fructose was eaten, which is to say ripe fruit, or any other sweet type substances. But typically what this would happen is in late summer, early fall, where there's an excess of ripe fruits, people eating those fruit through the mechanism of uric acid would start gaining a little bit of weight in preparation for winter, where the availability of food would be lower.
Well, now you switch it on where it's in everything.
What's that?
High fructose corn syrup. So people are gorging on this stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's so that's the mechanism that we have as humans. And now we're effectively turning on that retain fat for the winter mechanism
all the
by
time,
constantly supplying it with corn syrup. I mean, sugar would do the same thing, but it's or table sugar, I would say. It's just more expensive. Table sugar is a much more expensive product than corn syrup.
Just drink your Soylent Green.
Yeah. So interesting. It was something that I'd been kind of wondering about uric acid for probably 50 years, and now I watched a video about it.
And now you know everything there is to know about it.
I hardly know everything. I know just a little tiny fraction, but more than 99% of the population for sure.
I've heard sometimes these videos too will provide you with information that is not accurate.
No, well, you heard wrong.
All videos are accurate.
Well, if it's on YouTube.
I mean,
sure.
they vet everything, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Some people believe that. That's why they had
YouTube hadn't put a label next to the video saying this is disinformation, and clearly it's true.
That's why Joey's people wanted the misinformation board, and then that had to be shut down because, people were not understanding what it was for.
Although I will say, I don't know why it was shut down, because the woman that was placed in charge of it was not only a great singer, but also had plenty of historical, now found examples of creating misinformation. So
and she was good at misinformation. Yeah. I mean, we're assuming that they actually shut down whatever they were doing just because they said that.
Well, I'm not assuming that, but okay.
Yeah, that this hasn't been going on in the background. But it is just very concerning when you hear people talking about this. And I talked about it on Random Thoughts yesterday. Carl Cameron,
I have not heard that yet,
was a guy that used to be on Fox News and then quit. But he was like, yeah, Biden's not going far enough. They need to start putting people in jail. And it's like, what?
Let's start with you, buddy.
Yeah, kind of.
And as Adam always likes to say, they'll be walking, getting their head shaved.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This concept that anybody can decipher what is real and what is not when it comes to a variety of topics.
That's why we're here.
Right.
We're here to guide you along and tell you the way things actually are.
We're here to break things down in a way that are, I just go by logic.
I forgot to share the link. Let me share the link with No Agenda Social real quick here.
The link.
To our broadcast so they can comment in real time.
Over on it's true on YouTube. Although you can also comment real time in the troll room, noagendastream.io. Noagendastream.com, trollroom.io. So many different ways to get there.
No Agenda Social.
Just the news.
Comment live.
Had there was a letter now written by a bunch of people that talking about the COVID misinformation were basically like, it's coming from inside the house, you idiots.
That's right.
This was the issue when it came to COVID, is that the CDC was spreading more misinformation and bad health information than anybody else. And I don't believe they were necessarily doing it because they were liars. It's like, I think they thought that was the best information that they had. They were just wrong. I mean, some people may have been trying to push things for nefarious reasons, but I think a vast majority of people were just like, oh no, we got to get this information out there. They just didn't understand what the information meant.
Very good.
It, came to idiotic things like, masks are going to save you.
And it looks like a lot of people are actually commenting with images of the 80s on No Agenda Social right now.
We like the 80s.
Yes, the 80s were a penultimate decade.
You see the videos of people in the 80s, and then you see them today, and you're like, wow, they got old.
Yeah, or dead.
Well, that's the other option.
Or have less hair.
Usually way less hair.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
80s were filled with some great, there was some great guitar rock. Or were you really maybe you were more of a synth guy, I bet, more like,
absolutely.
Depeche Mode.
Synth, yeah, lots of Depeche Mode for sure.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm. See, this is what I really was surprisingly actually happy to hear that, what's her name? Elon's baby mother God, I'm blanking out her name.
I don't know. I don't follow any of this stuff. Who cares who's Elon's baby mama is?
I care. Anyway, she's
I know somebody was charging him with sexual harassment now because that's what you do to everybody now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what rich people apparently get charged with. But anyway,
and middle schoolers.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will tell us who that is. Oh, we got some comments. Look at that. MVC. This is embarrassing. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Your comments up on the screen too. Yes. Well, we always forget to tell people what the link is to come and watch live while we're recording. So there you go.
Well, that's because they're already listening live.
Yeah. So see if anybody remembers who Elon Musk's baby mama is. Because she's so I first watched an interview with her recently and was surprised pleasantly by what she was talking about. She's basically a total nerdy chick.
That would make sense for Elon.
And she's not like beautiful by any means, but she's thin and she's reasonably attractive. She's got too many tattoos,
I mean, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, she looks like she's about 19.
Well, then, in like 2 years, you would be dumping her.
I know, but she's actually, I think she's 29.
Oh, wow.
Just
so far over the level that you
Grimes,
like to stay with.
NBC punches it right in here. Grimes, that's right. So if you haven't listened to Grimes, which I know I've sent you a link to listen to her, and you clearly haven't.
I listen to nothing.
She is, she's definitely got a little bit of that 80s retro thing going on with the kind of synthy music and kind of light poppy vocals. I'm digging it. I'm actually probably gonna I haven't done it yet, but when I find a new artist, what I tend to do is just buy their entire catalog on iTunes.
What's this iTunes? I used to buy everything on vinyl or
iTunes
CDs.
Is where you can lease music.
Yes, you don't own it.
No, but you can lease it, and it's convenient because it pops up right on my phone or my watch or my iPads or my computer.
Apple tracks everything you listen to.
Well, they don't track everything I listen to because 95% of what I listen to is spoken word.
They're listening. They know. Apple knows.
Yes, Apple is listening. They do specifically get a copy of our podcast.
They're pretty sure you're a bot, though, because you listen to things at like 14 times speed.
And I also listen 24 hours a day.
Yes, they're like, how does this happen?
So I watched an interesting video yesterday.
You start every story that you're going to, or thing you're going to talk about with. I saw an interesting video yesterday.
Well, it's true. I'm trying to be honest here. There's a person out there that is clearly the record holder for the number of uploads on YouTube.
You mean one account?
Yeah.
The content
one
they
account
produce
has right now uploaded just over 2 million videos.
Okay, so it's a bot.
So it's not a bot, it's a human, but it's automated.
Well, that would be a bot.
Well, no, a bot would be...
I mean, a human owns all the accounts in some way, shape, or form so far.
It's just one account. And it's uploading an average of one video per every 3 seconds, I believe.
Which is just grabbing everything off of TikTok?
No, it's actually kind of interesting. It's answering questions on Reddit.
It's automated.
But it's semi-automated. Yeah. I mean, there's a human that owns this.
Well, a human owns everything until you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until the bots take over.
Would dispute that, but okay.
So it is just answering questions that are being asked across a variety of Reddit subreddits, or just
I
Reddit?
don't think it's all of Reddit, but it's certain Reddit channels. Yeah.
I will answer all of Reddit.
Yeah. And the average video, I guess, is about 3 or 4 minutes, but they're being uploaded every 2 or 3 seconds.
I don't understand.
Yeah. So at this point,
is this person making like $1 gazillion on this channel?
No, not at all. Not at all, because nobody watches the videos.
Well, you obviously do.
They are a record holder for the most uploads on YouTube.
And that'll get you nothing.
I'm
surprised YouTube just hasn't booted them off, because it would be a amount of space.
They're not breaking any rules.
Like, that matters for YouTube?
Wow.
The rules, you're costing us money and filling up our
if nobody
drives.
watches the video, not really costing much money either.
I guess it depends on how much ad revenue that account is bringing in.
And I'm sure it's bringing in more than the cost of storage.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a green account at all, Billy Bones.
Uh-huh.
That sounds bad for the environment, unless it's all windmill powered.
Right. But it's a yeah, so it's an interesting idea anyway to have that, because I guess that account represents like 2% of all the videos on YouTube.
That's a lot of videos.
Something like that. So the idea is it'll probably come up fairly frequently in searches. But I don't know. It was just one of those useless bits of info that I thought was interesting. What have you been up to?
That's what you're bringing.
Are you all done with COVID and everything?
That's what you're bringing to Unrelenting? Useless bits of info? Is that
what do you bring?
Everything. I bring the power.
Yeah,
at
you
the top of the hour.
Uh-huh.
Done with COVID? Yeah, I would say. Every now and then, I feel like I need to cough. And every now and then, you still cough up a little. But it's also that time of the year where allergies are popping out. So I think that's
that time of the month. I get it.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, no, it was like a couple of days of fun. And you move beyond it.
Aren't you glad you had it now?
Well, that is the ultimate way to be protected from it.
That's the only way to be protected, actually.
The best protection you can get from COVID is to get COVID.
Mm-hmm. Been saying that for a while. In fact, wasn't there in the South Park episode? Well, it was about mumps or something, but it was about some other communicable disease where the kids realized that the parents were encouraging them to play together,
right,
so that they would all get sick.
Like monkeypox.
Something like that.
But the reality is now it's like you're better off unless you have a really severe pre-existing health condition.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody would be better off getting the virus and moving forward, I think. But
I'm sure the virus agrees.
Yeah, it's like, this is what we want to do. Although you see the numbers are going way up again. So
what did the numbers have anything to do with the virus?
No. Well, it never does, which is also the other fallacy of all of this, because I had COVID, and beyond calling my doctor and saying, hey, anything I need to do? I mean, I didn't report this to anybody. I don't know. Are physicians required at this point, if they have a patient who tells them that they tested positive for COVID, do they check a box somewhere, or then maybe I was counted? I don't know.
Yeah, you've been, well, you're in Chicago too, so you probably like quadruple counted.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, but then I can buy a ghost gun and everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the problem in Illinois, according to our.
Yeah, so I guess last I checked, I watched the video the other day.
I mean, you watch a lot of videos, to be fair.
I do watch a number of videos. That is true.
The only reason you really wanted to be on YouTube was because it's where you spend most of your time anyway.
It's just so I don't have to close the YouTube window. Exactly right. Mm-hmm. That is correct.
But ghost guns, yeah, that's the big problem now.
Well, there were 761 murders so far last year, or I guess total last year in Illinois.
No, that seems low.
Which is about 2 per day.
Still low. Which
seems like, not Illinois, in Chicago, in just the city of Chicago. So that excludes the other cities. Yeah, but they didn't necessarily happen daily. They happened in clumps, and I think fairly recently. In fact, there was like 5 people dead and 12 injured, something like that.
Year to date in Chicago, 209 shot and killed, 890 shot and wounded. Total shot 1099.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Good stats.
Total homicides 230. That's so far this year.
Mm-hmm. Just this year. Okay. So that might actually be a downtrend then.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It is possible.
But I just thought it was interesting because that kind of puts into context the communists in New York that ended up going out and shooting a bunch of people. Because Chicago experiences something very similar to that on a weekly basis.
Yeah, in Chicago, a person is shot this year. Every 3 hours and 3 minutes, somebody's shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Person is murdered every 14 hours and a half. So every 14 hours and 30 minutes, boom, somebody else murdered.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. It is a downtrend then. I think it was slightly more last year.
Nothing to worry about.
No, it's a safe city. God, I remember just walking around there at night all the time.
It used to be fun because there used to be a police presence and the gangbangers who are now taking over the Miracle Mile. They're taking over Millennium
That's
Park.
insane.
Yeah.
Like back then, Southside was the only place you had to close your windows.
Well, yeah, you had to worry if you were in certain neighborhoods, West Side, South Side.
Uh-huh.
But downtown, I mean, this was back when the Daily mayor, was in there.
Yeah.
And things were treated a little bit differently, which is if you came into the area that was making the city money and pulled this stuff.
Yeah, you're going to get locked up.
Yeah, you were going to get locked up or you were going to get dead.
Yep.
And not so much anymore. This is what happens when you have the very liberal DAs going, no, don't want to prosecute that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you, with this is what happens to get cities to look more like Blade Runner.
Yeah, that is about right.
Where instead of fixing the criminal situation, they just don't go down. Everybody stays higher up. So you leave the streets to the criminals, and then you use your little floaty cars to go between the high rises.
The crime statistics, victims of shootings in Chicago, 170 black, 37 Hispanic, 13 white or other. So
that sounds pretty racist to me, man.
Yeah, that is who's getting
I'd say
shot.
Chicago has a problem with racist shootings.
You think they would do something about it.
Yeah.
But they don't care. Where's Black Lives Matter? If Black Lives really matter.
Black Lives Matter.
I don't know.
Oh, they're busy living in their expensive houses, probably.
They're $1 million. Well, they're very worried hiding their tax returns at this point from the people that gave them money.
Uh-huh.
The amount of money that was dispersed there.
There's nothing wrong here. They did a great job of scamming the liberal guilt.
Oh, yeah.
Into providing them with free money to live a lavish lifestyle.
And the people that gave them the money now deserve to look at this and go, we got taken, and then maybe learn something, or do they not learn? Because it's
I don't even care. I mean, I wish all their money would get taken. If we can get more Black Lives Matter type organizations out there that'll take the liberal guilt money, I think would be better for it, because then those people would end up not having any money.
So we're going to start a new thing, LGM, Liberal Guilt Money Incorporated.
Liberal Guilt Money Incorporated.
Yes.
I like it. I like it.
And then just say we're supporting a variety of causes. None of these people actually have supported a cause. They just felt better giving their money to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, you may as well give it to us.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm a minority. I don't know about you, but
well, I mean, you are short, but I don't know if I call you a minority because of that.
I'm hardly short. I'm very normal.
You're tall.
You, on the other hand, are the people. Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah. Hey, genetics, man.
Exactly. That's like, if part of you is a beanstalk, you can't help it.
You get what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. Well, I mean, you can try to adjust things, but God does not make junk. So
doesn't he though?
Yeah.
Didn't he even have to wash away everything once because he screwed up and he decided to start over from scratch?
We're going to the Ark. We go to this mythology.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could have happened. I mean, I just don't know how you get two of everything on a boat and they all don't kill each other.
They have to be pacified. That's the dirty little secret they forgot to mention, is they actually tagged all these animals first.
That's horrible.
I know, right?
That is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, this is...
How else do you explain the lamb lying next to the lion?
The lamb lies down on Broadway is all I know. Phil Collins taught me all I needed to know.
Well, I'm pretty sure that lamb is pretty pacified as well.
You would think. But lamb is delicious.
It can be. If prepared right.
I mean, you can just throw it in a gyro. Good gyro.
That's a fairly long preparation.
Yeah, but delightful.
It is. It's pretty good.
Load it up with some onion, little pita, little tzatziki or something sauce.
I watched the video recently.
That's a surprise. Gene watched a video is the title of today's episode.
Uh-oh. And in this video, it talked about the secret evil use of cow fetus blood to make artificially grown meat.
Yeah, that is one of the things that really kind of grosses me out. This whole concept of how they're going to start growing meat in like lab dishes.
I don't see a problem with that, frankly, but
you're like, it's delightful. They don't need, you don't need to kill a cow. You could just put a few things in a beaker and it'll grow.
Just grow steak instead of killing a cow. Exactly.
I don't know. That seems a little.
I think the article was meant to make you feel like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. But I kind of like veal. So I don't have a problem with baby cow meat.
Hey, whatever you're into,
meat,
that's fine.
Blood, whatever. I mean, it's like anything is going to taste better than these soy burgers that they're trying to push on everybody these days.
Yeah, I've never tried one of those Beyond Burgers.
Have you really?
No.
Burger King has them.
I know. I've never really thought of why I would want to.
No, I tried one as soon as they came out because it was all the rage. All my friends were going off and trying these things.
And they're like, you have to, this is the greatest thing ever. You got to try it.
I'll tell you one thing. You do feel full after eating one, just like you eat a normal meat burger.
Yeah,
but the taste, I wouldn't say the taste is bad. I think they've improved greatly since, the 80s. So there's one thing that's better now than the 80s is the artificial meat. But it still doesn't obviously taste like meat.
No, the artificialness is what gets you, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like it's not unpleasant. Like if they marketed not as fake meat, but as just something else, it may even be something I would buy and eat. But if you're selling it as a substitute for meat, it's like then you're comparing directly, and that doesn't cut it.
It's still not as good as taking a big mushroom and grilling that up and being
mushrooms are good.
Yeah.
I enjoy mushrooms, and I just wish they had a little more protein. But in general, mushrooms provide most of the same mouthfeel as meat.
Well, see, and that's it. The mouthfeel is a big part of the eating experience.
Yes, the Japanese know all about that.
Because there's a lot of foods that I initially really didn't like, and it all came down to the mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, for me, it's even bigger than taste. Some people, your mileage may vary, but if it didn't have the right consistency.
I think that's the only reason people eat French fries, frankly.
You get the snap.
Well, it's crunch. A well-cooked French fry seems delicious, but really, it's basically glue paste. It's glue paste that's been fried. It's really not good for you or good tasting. Right.
A lot of stuff's like that. It's just fried just right.
Yeah, and you can tell that it's the mouthfeel of the fries, because have you ever tried eating fries that have sat in the fridge overnight?
Yes. Well, they're unless you can reconstitute them, they're bad
because they're soft. Like they get gooey from.
You have to put them in if you could put them in the air fryer the next day, some can be saved.
Yeah, but that's what they are supposed to taste like. So the only reason that you seem to like them, it's because that crispiness,
right? Because you've given them a texture they were never supposed to have.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they really are just mashed potatoes that have been, made into straws.
Which is also why smoothies can be delicious, even if there's some really stuff you wouldn't normally consume straight, like kale, for instance.
Or lemon peel.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't had one in a while. Since the COVID thing, I have to get back to my lemons.
Yes, and then see if you've changed your lemon taste at all.
Ooh, you think it may have?
It didn't for me, but for some people, their taste buds change.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any change in taste. I never had any issue with the smell or taste with the COVID. So I don't think that is a big deal. But I'll have to watch that. Maybe it's like a whole new world of food out there for me now.
Well, and it may not be everything. It may be like everything tastes normal, and then you eat a bar of chocolate, and you're like, this doesn't taste good.
Well, there's a lot of that just because they're changing the product.
Why did I just say that? Now I feel like I want some chocolate.
You're like, give me some chocolate. Is that you're going to go online now? Is that you're ordering yourself
Should
up?
I order? I do need to order
a few pounds
food now
of stuff.
I can't afford a few pounds of chocolate. You know how much chocolate costs these days?
Like $46 a pound.
Yeah. It's like $12 per bar.
It is bizarre. Everything.
It's gone up a lot.
Everything's gone up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Uncle Joe. Well, I say everything's gone up, but crypto and all of
down.
Yeah, crypto is down. Everything in the stock market is down. Well, not everything, but a vast majority of things.
Yes.
But I finally did
and
something.
not that we give legal, any kind of advice, medical, legal, or financial, but if you bought the ruble.
If you would apply, right. See, just send us rubles. That's all we want.
The ruble right now is trading at a, I guess, good for Russia, bad for US dollar rate that it hasn't seen in 4 years.
Wow. I thought, wait. I thought we have economically punished these sons of bitches in Russia.
Well, we punished somebody, but it turns out the gun was pointing right back at us.
That's usually how it
Biden
goes.
Pulled that trigger, that bullet just went right and did a loop-de-loop of 180 degrees.
Biden just shot himself in the head. That's all.
And shot the rest of us while he was at it.
Yeah. Anybody that's got a 401k, it's good times. You are praying right now.
Well, and you just wait till the tax increases come along, as they will, because now they have to pay for all that Ukrainian money.
Oh, well, yeah. I still don't understand the billions of dollars that are being sent. But
well, how could you must hate Ukraine then? I mean,
I do. Screw these people. I don't care what happens in Ukraine. I live here. And I have
I see.
I have a very simple thing. Take care of what's going on around you and let the rest of the world do the rest of the world, because you can't control the rest of the world. I can't control what my neighbors are doing in their house. I'm not going to spend thousands or millions or billions of dollars trying to keep my neighbors from doing something. Now, if they come over my property line, damn it, I may shoot them in the ass. But
so I was watching this Tim Pool video.
That's a surprise. You were on watching videos again?
And the religious dude, the Catholic guy, had a good comment.
The religious dude, the Catholic guy. Is there only one now? We're down. The Catholicism is so bad, we're down to one Catholic guy.
Hopefully, yeah. So we've got a he's the cartoon guy, the Freedom Tunes guy. That's his company, Freedom Tunes. Seamus. That's the
See,
Seamus,
I get this from the troll room. Thank you. I have
he's also from Chicago too.
Well, isn't everybody from Chicago? That means anything.
But Seamus had a very good point to this. I posted a pirated clip yesterday on No Agenda Social.
I saw that. It was a No Agenda tube.
Yeah, on No Agenda tube, exactly. It was a clip that I grabbed because I'm a member on Timcast. And so they have a Timcast After Hours.
Oh, is that where Tim takes the beanie off?
It's the R-rated version of the show. Yeah.
Wait. Tim After Dark, is that when he takes the beanie off, or just everything else off?
Tim After Hours is the private show. Tim After Dark, that's the OnlyFans channel,
right? But then does he leave that? Does he leave the hat on, or is the hat the only thing that comes off, or is the hat the only thing that stays on?
Everything else comes off. That's correct.
Wow, I would pay not to see that.
Well, I'm sure he'll take you up on that.
Hey, that's one way to make money. That's one way to monetize your content.
Exactly.
And what was in that clip? Because I didn't watch it, of course.
You should watch it. It was a very good clip because it basically demonstrates all these idiots out there that talk about, Tim's a total grifter. He sucks. Because none of them have watched him, certainly not recently. And they're just parroting a line that they've heard somebody else say. But I will say Tim represents my viewpoint 100% in that clip. He is very passionate about it. There's raises, their voice is raised. And he basically is beating down a neocon who is supporting this whole war with Ukraine thing. or war through Ukraine, I should say, war with Russia through Ukraine.
Right. Well, you pretend that it's not.
And Tim is making all the exact same points that I made on this show. That this is a wholly 100% U.S. created conflict. And it is beyond insane for the U.S. to pretend that it's not at war currently with Russia. And that it should be absolutely no surprise whatsoever when a nuclear weapon detonates. Because this is what the neocons want. They want nuclear war.
Well, they want just enough that they can get their great reset.
Well, in their idiotic mind, Russia is just a gas station pretending to be a country.
Yeah, you hear kind of that kind of talk, and it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me that, oh, well, Russia's really not a threat. Russia's just, a
country that is the largest country in the world, that has been around for 1,000 years, that survived communism and got out of it and became capitalist. That's the country you want to go to war with. Okay.
Yeah. Who has nukes?
Who has second most nukes of anybody. The U.S. is third, by the way.
Now, when it comes down to just standing armies, beyond China, I don't know. Russia has to be next.
No, well, it depends how you count that. If you count just overall military force, U.S. is number 2.
If you count just the people in the military itself?
If you count the people, then Russia's the second, yeah. But U.S. has a lot more naval and air power.
Which is why I need to pick up my copy of Bill O'Reilly's latest book.
No, I thought you were going to say Hunt for Red October. Okay.
No. O'Reilly just wrote a book called Killing the Killers, which is all about going after the terrorists over the last, 20 some odd years.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there's a lot in there about the sophisticated weaponry that the United States has that most people have no idea exists. And I'm just kind of curious if it's going to read more like total fiction that, you could basically target people from space, and I don't know. It depends on the sourcing for it.
That is extremely tenuous because while we can target people from space, that capability can get taken out extremely quickly.
Yes.
Because the only reason that we have, what is it now? I think somewhere around 18,000 satellites, 20,000 satellites, whatever it is, floating around right now. The only reason that exists is because of a mutual agreement between countries not to detonate things in space that would ruin everything.
Yes, because if you start opening that up as a battlefield.
Because as soon as one country uses a satellite for military purposes other than surveillance,
another country there may be agreements, right?
Start shooting. You don't even need to hit the other guy's satellites. All you need to do is know what their orbit is, and then send something very simple and cheap and detonate it in that orbit.
Yeah, like a DeLorean.
Like a DeLorean, exactly.
Set it up there, but I'm guessing that a lot of these countries have a agreement at this point to where if we're going after terrorists, then maybe it's like, okay, you kind of have an okay.
Not at this point. All that is off the table now.
Well, this is a whole new world because of this Ukraine thing.
Biden.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of the great examples that I heard recently to any moron out there that still thinks that U.S. is fully justified in helping the Nazis in Ukraine. And there's a joke there I'll tell you as well. But how about this? How about Russia starts helping with weapon shipments to the Mexican cartels?
Right. Which are a huge problem right now.
And if the U.S. starts escalating their going after Mexican cartels, Russia will start dumping $50 billion to help the cartels out because they're being their rights of independence are being trampled on by the American authorities.
Well, the reason why we have the problem at the border that we do, including the amount of drugs that are coming in now.
I don't even know if there is a border anymore, frankly.
Well, there's a pretend one. I don't know if anybody's doing anything about it, but when Donald Trump was in office, there was that understanding with Mexico, which is, no, you got to control this.
Keep your guys back home. Yeah.
Yeah. And Donald Trump was able to make that deal. And then Joe Biden went, we don't care. The cartels love Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah. No, they're some of his biggest supporters for sure.
Their products are able to get into this country nice and easy because
they're being transported. Their products are being transported on U.S. government planes right now.
Well, yeah, because, you come into the country, you have to give somebody a ticket to take them somewhere.
I mean, it does make sense that Joe's kid is addicted to crack cocaine because their whole family is basically a drug business family. He did a deal with Afghanistan to give all the poppy fields back to the Taliban out there, and I'm sure he got paid for it. There's no way he did that for free.
Well, no,
he probably
and what's
got paid
going
for
on
the weapons
now
that were left behind. His family made some money on that.
Yeah, a lot of weapons left behind, which was idiotic.
Yeah, opening the border up for drugs coming from Mexico. That definitely got reimbursed for that one way or another.
Hey, don't look at any of the Ukraine stuff when it comes to the Biden family. You're just racist if you say that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how.
So here's the thing. You know how the Russian army had the Zs?
Yes, I've heard that they have the letter Z. That was their representation.
Yeah, and then Zelensky went and canceled the letter Z. Like in a lot of European countries now, the letter Z is banned.
You can't say Zelensky?
No, you have to say Zelensky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So really, the Russians they've got all the Z's on them, and then the regime in Ukraine, well, they're the Nazis.
I get it. The Nazis.
Nazis. So I think that is brilliant. It's not mine. I didn't come up with it. I heard it. But it's actually fits very well. So the Nazis is the proper way to address the yellow and blue country.
I can't argue with that.
No, and given that spelling, I don't think YouTube would either.
That's how you get around that's how you get around any of the rules. That's the loophole. You found the loophole.
It's not a loophole. I think it's just the truth. I mean,
the Z's and the Nazis.
It wasn't the Russians that did this. It was the Nazis that created the Nazi country.
I don't know. It is all just so tiresome. I miss Donald Trump when the world was calm.
And this was the other point that one of the guests on that clip of Tim that I uploaded was making. Oh, and by the way, if I include your name on a link to something, probably means I'm like encouraging you to watch it. I'm not just sticking your name on there for nothing.
Wait, you want me to watch things?
I upload probably 100 times more clips than the ones I actually tag you in.
So those are the important ones.
Yeah, this is one that's completely not important, hence your tag. Correct.
Okay, good.
So the other point on there that I thought was good was that. Well, let's see. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Congratulations.
I was just looking at the chocolate that NetNed recommended on Amazon. Callabout, Callebaut.
Is it good?
He says it's the best stuff ever.
I like Lily's.
This one is 5.5 pounds for $51. But you can buy like packs of 2 or 4.
Lily's. Yeah.
You can buy 4 packs for only $157. Callebaut. Sure, Callebaut.
Yeah.
It's Belgian, Gene. It's Belgian. Way better chocolate than they're making in Ukraine right now.
You think?
I do. I do. And I finally did.
Making anything in Ukraine right now?
War and lies.
War.
Yeah. Joe, that's the Biden manufacturing going on there.
Yeah, they have some kind of. Yeah, I mean, so I think Biden's approach to sending money through Ukraine is is basically, well, if Russia's going to steal my ability to do money laundering through Ukrainian companies, then I'm just going to take and recompensate myself by taking U.S. money and then sending it to Ukraine to get back.
Is he sending it all in crypto, though? How's he doing that?
I think they're mostly using the SWIFT system, but they didn't want to be monitored on all those transactions, so they had to kick Russia out first, so Russia wouldn't know all the money laundering happening there.
Yeah, well, you got to launder that money. And I finally jumped off of Coinbase, which is what people have been telling me to do from like day one.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't a difficult system at all. I just bought a Ledger wallet directly from Ledger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty easy to set up. It's a little, USB device kind of a thing. I was disappointed that you still couldn't do it direct with Cardano, but you can use a third-party open source Cardano wallet this is basically just storing the keys for that. But it got it off of Coinbase because the biggest worry, I don't know, this is probably Chicken Little stuff, but the Coinbase stock had been crashing and people are in the mind that if Coinbase...
They might go down and you lose all your shit.
Yes, that if Coinbase disappears, all of those wallets that you had your funds in through Coinbase would be part of a bankruptcy, which, it's possible just because governments do not like crypto and do not understand how this works. Like this is
Well, Coinbase is definitely not insured.
Right.
So you probably would lose all your money, yes.
There was something with the FDIC, but I don't remember exactly what it was. There was something with Coinbase, but you're not fully insured as far as I know. Maybe
I don't recall seeing a thing when I set up an account that said I was insured.
And the reality is, with any of these wallets, you can still be scammed and they're not going to be responsible for, all your money disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So taking this off of that was just an extra added bit of fun because I'm just letting the stuff sit there anyway. I mean, it's way past time. If I was smart, I would have gotten out of it about a year ago.
Well, if you were smart, you wouldn't have bought Cardano, but yeah.
It's really no different when I look at in the grand scheme of things, the percentages up and down that Cardano is from where I bought it to where the Bitcoin is from where I got it.
Oh, really?
They're still equaling each other, which is very weird because I'm watching them on a daily basis just to see, and they're pretty much echoing each other. So if Bitcoin is up 4%, then the Cardano is usually up about 4 or 5%, and if they go down, they go down.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a better coin. I mean, if you're looking, to me, this was more of this was more Vegas action, more than I'm just putting money in.
You enjoyed watching it moving up and down and stuff.
Right. It goes up, it goes down. That was the excitement.
Yeah.
Bitcoin the same way.
God damn it.
Yes, Bully Steed says first rule of Coinbase is never leave any coin on the exchange. Take it,
really?
You move it off. I think I still have my Sheeb coin over there, so I'll have to move that as well. But that's like $50.
I've got a bunch of Bitcoin on Coinbase. I just haven't gotten around to moving.
Well, if you would like to send it to my wallet, Gene, I'd be glad to hold it for you.
Why would I need your wallet?
Because it's super safe. It's it's high tech.
I did lose my Bitcoin server, so that was fun.
How do you lose that? It just crashed?
It crashed.
And what happens then? I mean, you have a backup, obviously.
No.
And then what happens?
It's gone.
Where's all your money? Where's all your Bitcoin?
Well, it wasn't on there, but it would have been on there had I moved it there.
Wow. So you just really dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I had a 2-drive malfunction. It's a RAID system.
Yeah, and 2 usually die at the same time if it's a RAID 5.
No, they're not supposed to do.
They do, because that's why you're supposed to change. You're supposed to start the rotation, a year in. You put 4 new drives in.
And they all died at the same time. I know.
Right.
That's why, you put 2 in, then you add 2 more later.
Right. You want to rotate those drives.
Yeah. That's true.
But nobody ever does it.
I actually I kind of did that. I had 2 different manufacturers.
And they both died.
Well, I didn't notice the first one died, and it took about 2 months, and another one died.
Well, you
It
see,
kept going, right? It kept running. If I
Right.
didn't notice.
you know, but a good NAS, if you set it up properly, will like email you or text you and go, "Hey, Gene, we lost a drive."
I think it was trying to text my old phone number,
Nice.
so it didn't really help.
Yeah, that's a bitch. That's happened to me as well.
It was unfortunate, but what do you do? You know.
Well, at least you didn't
sometimes-
have thousands of dollars of Bitcoin
No, I
on
didn't.
it.
I had some sats and stuff in there, but not much. Just for testing. I was just still in the testing phase.
But now I feel like this is about as safe as you can get with the crypto, which is basically just the keys on the little USB device. And if I lose the USB device, or it gets broken, you have the 25-word magical phrase or whatever you want to call it to be able to recover that with a new Ledger wallet.
Yeah. And, there's a very easy way to just turn that into a 3-digit number.
To turn in your 25-word, how do you do that?
Well, you pick a book, you go to that page, and your 25 words are the first 25 words on that page.
Nice.
Yeah,
I don't
then
know if
you
the
only have
Ledger
to-
one lets you choose your own words. I think theirs
But
was...
you're not going to remember 25 words, for Christ's sake. Come on.
No, never.
No. So you're much better off just picking some random book like the Bible and then picking a random page in that book and just remembering that number. That's all you need.
And then knowing where to go and hoping that there's no reprints that have changed the word in the... always keep your original copy of the book.
Well, I was thinking ebook, but okay.
Right, but the ebooks can be updated. Amazon's doing that. They're updating the books even if you don't want them to.
They're updating the Bible to a more recent current version that doesn't use the he pronoun.
Yes, probably, because that's sexual harassment when you use the wrong pronoun.
It's sexual something, right?
Yeah, you got to be careful. But I figured that was at least it was less of a pain in the ass than I thought, except for now paying the small amount of fees to move from one wallet to the other.
Oh yeah, you lose money on every transaction. That's the other bullshit thing with Bitcoin versus like fiat money that everybody hates.
Yeah, because I mean, if I want to send $100 from one bank account to another, $100 shows up.
Or even to me.
Yes, $100 shows
where's
up.
my share of none of our donations?
Well, today we
God damn it.
$3.33 total
Yes,
for
I
today.
want my $1.50.
That's the PayPal fee right there is more than what it would take to get you your
PayPal fee. Why are people sending it with fees? They should be sending it as a gift.
you have
Not
to
as
send it as it's to a friend. But do I want to admit you're
not
a
as
friend?
purchase.
No.
You're not buying anything by sending this shit.
I don't want to admit that I'm your friend, Gene. I'm already on enough lists.
Yeah, you're definitely on enough lists.
That's dangerous. But we do appreciate Johnny Hipwell for his 333 today. He put a note that said for that show with that Russian dude named Gene.
Ah, nice.
Just to make sure it went to the
I
right
think
show.
he meant that for Sir Gene Speaks, though.
You never know. Might have meant it. I'll check with him. He'll tell me. Most people are just like, don't like Gene. So I think that's why the rock and roll pre-show donations way up. They're like, we like you,
That's good.
but we don't like that Gene guy.
Well, that's interesting too, because I'm seeing the same phenomenon on Sir Gene Speaks.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good. And if anybody wants to put horrible reviews for this show, you can do so.
Yeah, because any review counts towards getting your show more popular. So good, bad, or otherwise.
Which would help. Which would definitely help. Now that people are targeting Gene because they don't like his Russianness.
No, everybody, there's only two people that don't like my Russianness, and they happen to both be Polish, and they happen to both be banned.
Wow. Only two people dislike Gene. If you would like to disprove
That's
that
correct.
theory, there's plenty of ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's my, I finally got my crypto off of Coinbase as it's all crashing. So, but I think it'll come back. I mean, you keep telling me Bitcoin's a good deal. So does your buddy
I'm holding
SCSB.
Bitcoin.
He's like, all other coins are shitcoin. Only buy Bitcoin.
Well, he is correct on that.
No, I want an altcoin. I want to buy like an altcoin at like 1/1000th of a penny. And then it goes up to a
you
penny.
also collect pieces of plastic that have music on them.
CDs, yeah. And baseball cards. I got all sorts of things.
Yeah,
man.
and baseball cards. So that tells you all you need to know about your astuteness in collecting things.
Hey, man, I should have been buying Jordan rookies.
How many Red albums did you buy?
Red albums?
Yeah.
You mean like Russian, or you mean or Taylor Swift?
Well, obviously Taylor Swift with you.
I still haven't found, for the right price, a copy of the promo only Red on Red, the original Red that was sent out to the Country Music Association or whatever
aren't you
it was.
Impressed and shit that I know that there's a Red album.
Yes, I mean you know your stuff, man.
Yeah,
Taylor
yes, I know my singers with no butts.
She just got her fake doctorate from the
did she now?
Yeah, New York University, I think it was.
Nice. Well, that's worth something.
She spoke in front of the graduating class at Yankee Stadium.
And she said, "Don't ever sign up with a music distributor company.
Do your own thing, man." Well, she's had her battles with iTunes, and it's good. I guess.
Didn't she threaten to drop out of iTunes because they weren't paying enough, like poor people or something? Some kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, and she talked about the fact that everybody's going to get canceled at one point or another. That
she did.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. That talked about social media and how everybody at some point is going to misspeak, or you're going to say the wrong thing, or you're going to try too hard, or you're not going to try hard enough, and people are going to basically crucify you. And she's absolutely right about that. Welcome to the new internet.
What kind of applesauce should I get?
Is there varieties here? I mean,
either with or without the cinnamon.
Oh, you want with cinnamon. Cinnamon is good for your heart.
Okay, I mean, so it's healthy applesauce.
Yes, when you're mainlining the sugar that is applesauce. I mean, you may as well have some cinnamon in there.
There's no sugar in this particular applesauce.
Yeah, the allergies are a little bit out today, Ned. Either that or it's COVID making a return. COVID coming back. Round 2.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone really cares anymore.
No. Well, it's because you realize you're going to get it. You're going to get over it. And you're going to move on. Was it the 4-hour rock and roll pre-show? Bully Steve, that was it. That brought things up to a whole new level. I mean, we would do a 4-hour unrelenting, but people are just like, ugh.
Well, I thought we have done a 4-hour unrelenting.
We have come close, yeah.
Once or twice.
And people were like, no mas.
Really? Is that what they were?
No mas. Yeah, they was all, I don't know why.
So New York strip is selling for $16 a pound here right now.
That's a lot.
Doesn't that seem like a lot for a generic cut of meat?
Yes.
I think so. Huh. Well,
but you live in like a rancher's paradise too, which is.
Well, I also live in California, Texas.
The California of Texas.
Mm-hmm. It's the city in Texas where all the Californians live.
Let's see.
I'm the last holdout. Everybody else has moved out.
Top sirloin steaks at our little grocery store right down the street here. I can walk there.
Well, we know your place just mislabels everything.
USDA prime top sirloin steak, $7.99 a pound.
That's impossible, but okay.
It's not impossible.
Completely.
You don't understand. They have eggplant from 88 cents a pound. Sweet potatoes, 88 cents a pound.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 88 cent super sale, which seems like kind of a weird sale. Isn't that 88? They were just talking about that in No Agenda. That's like HH, and that's like racist. And
it is racist. I can't believe you're a Nazi.
They're doing an 88 cent super sale, but it's like 88. I graduated high school in 88. It's a great year.
88 was a pretty good year.
They have Black Angus New York strip steaks, $14.99 a pound. That's getting a little closer.
That's also $14 a pound. See, that New York strip should not be $14 a pound.
No? Well, thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah, Joe Biden. I mean, that's like a $9 a pound meat.
It should be, but not in our new world order.
Why am I not finding my bison? God damn it. Are they out of bison again?
Well, don't you have your own in the backyard?
No, I don't have my bison.
Yeah,
they don't live down here. They live up north.
Sir
They live in
Gene's
your neck of
bison.
the woods.
Yeah. I don't have one though.
No. Yeah, they're out of bison. God damn it.
Now what are you gonna do?
I don't know, man. Oh, I'll get some smoked sausage, I guess.
The country style thick sliced bacon, $5.99 a pound. I remember when that was $2.99 a pound, like 2 years ago.
Yes, and I remember when that was just $5.99 a pound.
Congratulations.
Because it's like now $9.99 a pound.
It's insane.
Yeah. And I noticed they're selling pistachio bags still for $5.25 a pound, but the bags are smaller.
That'll do it. But see, here's the one that still always gets me: the whole beef tenderloin with free custom cut and trim, $9.99 a pound. I should just buy that.
That's not real tenderloin, but okay.
It is. I've had it. It was delicious.
Yeah, one of these days I'll have to actually buy you real tenderloin. See what you tell the difference.
That sounds good, Gene.
Yeah,
come out. We can spend a couple of days at Gibson's just trying everything they got on the menu.
Yeah, or we could like meet in Kansas City and have some real stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sir Spencer will put us up.
Is he out there?
Yeah, he's out in KC, baby.
I didn't know that.
Get some barbecue. Go to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
I've been there.
It is a beautiful place, I hear.
It's not very big.
No, but it is a quality Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It's, well, I guess I haven't been to a variety of Hall of Fames of baseball, so I can't compare it to anything else, but I haven't been to that one.
You got to compare. But I hear the barbecue in Kansas City is delicious.
It is the best, as far as I'm concerned. I'm more of a
dry rub guy
than a brisket guy, and Texas is all about brisket.
You want a dry rub? You want a good sauce? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. You guys drown it in sauce.
Oh, yeah. You want to run it through the garden, baby.
It is yeah. Used to go to KC Masterpiece in the Plaza in Kansas City. And because I always stay at the Plaza, it's a beautiful location. I hear it's having its share of issues right now because a lot of stores closed during COVID, and there's some graffiti out there, maybe. So, which is unfortunate because the Plaza is a absolutely gorgeous little area of about 4 blocks by 5 or 6 blocks. It was the first commercially designed shopping mall in the country.
Nice.
And it opened the week that the stock market fell in the Great Depression.
Well, that was an unfortunate timing.
It was very unfortunate because this was a luxury shopping center. And so consequently, it went through some downturns and bad days. And then it started getting revitalized once again in the 80s because that was a good decade. And really kind of, I think, came into its own in the late 90s. Well, not even the late 90s, probably the mid 90s. The Plaza had... It was a little reminiscent of kind of like what you would have on Rodeo Drive or...
Yeah, fancy.
Just a lot of nice upscale stores. And it was built in a Spanish architecture style. So all red roofs, red tile roofs, tons of mosaics everywhere, and a lot of fountains. Kansas City, people don't know this. Kansas City is the fountain capital of the U.S.
I did not know that. Well, I mean, I knew from watching the baseball games, they have the big fountains in the ballpark even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a feature that they're known for is their fountains there.
Wow, wait, this is breaking news. AOC engaged.
Oh my God.
Wow,
don't say that.
That just crushed your hopes.
I'm going to commit suicide now. I know. I kept thinking that I still got a shot.
That would be just a marriage made in heaven, you and AOC. The political discourse.
I think it would be a perfect marriage.
Well, until she hits 29 or whatever that age is.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then you'd have to replace her.
Gene at sirgene.com.
Yes, and nobody writes because they all know I'm right.
Nobody knows that.
Mm-hmm. So should I get my food delivered today or tomorrow?
I mean, do you want to eat today? That is the question.
Well, I don't know. I was thinking of getting some takeout today, maybe.
Oh, wow. Somebody posted a Jolt Cola on No Agenda Social. That was 80s, baby.
Yeah. This is, I love this comment. This is slowly morphing into a coupon cutting show.
Well, let's talk about where you can get the best prices. You can't beat our meat here on the Unrelenting podcast. Unrelenting.show.
What you did there.
Yeah, you can't beat it. Well, for a while, Ted Nugent had some jerky. Had his own brand, and that was his slogan, of course. You can't beat my meat.
That's great.
Ted Nugent Biltong. I don't know where it went, man. It was good. Although that was the other thing that I've noticed even before the Biden price hike was quality jerky is like $80,000 a pound. I remember the good old days when jerky was cheap. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, not actually $80,000 a pound. We're getting there.
Say, dude, how do you even get close to that?
It's really good jerky.
That sounds.
You want to put some saffron on it. You want to put a little gold leaf. Jolt Cola, man. That can just brings back the
little lightning bolt on the old Jolt.
I mean, that brings me back to a computer world where it was all in green. What was that called? The that green, that particular green of like the Apple II monitors.
Oh yeah, sure.
That was the color of computers back in the day.
Well, that or amber.
Oh, that's true too. That didn't look as cool.
Yeah, I remember I did a website back in would have been in the probably late 90s, maybe.
That Reed did that?
To late 90s, did a website.
That retroed back?
Yes, correct. So the website had a amber or green mode that you could select for all the text.
The only winning move is
it was a website to do some penetration testing.
Hey now. I'd like to play Global Thermonuclear War, please.
Yeah, I had that too. But it was it was kind of a site to. This was back in the day when there were a lot of computers on the internet that didn't have firewalls.
Oh,
so the website would test your various security.
Oh, so it was like a one-stop shop. You went to that site. It was
a one-stop shop right through the internet to tell you exactly all the holes that you have that are sitting there between the server and you. Yeah.
No Beret on No Agenda Social says, "Hey, y'all, it's Darren O'Neill time on his second best co-hosted show." So,
second best.
Yeah, I guess he's going for a Planet Rage is the best.
Yeah, I would disagree with that. You can't even hear that show. How can that be the best when you can't hear it?
It's all about
it's sub-audible.
Well, that's it. We're giving sub-audible messaging to people.
Yeah.
How do you think we get our words into Ukraine? They got to be under that sub base.
That must be.
We have encoded messages.
I don't know about you. I'm running a high-pass filter here.
Oh, well, you're missing out on all of the good info then.
Yeah, apparently.
You're missing out on everything.
All right, food's ordered. That wasn't too bad. $120.
Well, that's only for the snake, right? I mean, or is yours food's in there too?
Oh no, the snake's food is more expensive.
But see, I do believe that.
Yeah. Well, the snake eats rabbit, and rabbit is $20 a pound.
But you're getting them live. Don't you just grow your own? Or?
No. Are you kidding? Do you know how they smell horrible, man? No, I get my rabbits pre-frozen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody has a good rabbit guy in Austin, let Gene know.
There are no good rabbit guys in Austin. People keep them as pets here.
Well, your snake doesn't care if they're a pet.
Well, no, the snake wouldn't care. The person probably would, though.
Now, does the snake still have the ability, or is the snake now this lazy bastard that...
Totally lazy.
If you put a live rabbit in, the snake would just be like, eh.
Oh, not even. My other snake used to eat live rats. And I thankfully taught it to eat thawed rats instead now. But sometimes if it wouldn't eat a rat, I would try and put it into the cage of the big snake. And the big snake, the one that eats rabbits, would be afraid of the rat and would just kind of reel away from it into a corner.
It was afraid of its food?
Because why is this thing moving? It smells like food, but it's walking around. No, this thing was captive born. It has been fed by hand pretty much its entire life. So it wouldn't know how to catch something in the wild at all.
And of course, in the troll room, Ned knows who made the jerky for Uncle Tad. It's a place called Dublin Jerky, like the town in Ireland, DublinJerky.com, out of Michigan. Some Michiganiacs.
I think I've had that.
It was great. I may have to order some of this now.
88,000 a pound, huh?
Probably. Let's see. They have specials. I go to the specials page and it's empty. If you're going to have a specials page, have a special. And if you don't have a special, take the tab off the menu that says specials.
Well, there's no specials, probably.
Well, right, because Uncle Joe, there is original beef jerky. There is Cajun beef jerky. There is Applejack beef jerky, cherry beef jerky,
alligator jerky,
garlic and onion, Hellfire
kangaroo
beef jerky,
pheasant
maple
jerky.
Kobe. Oh, here, Kobe Wagyu beef jerky.
Ooh, my snake would like that.
Sweet heat teriyaki. Let's see. How much is the Kobe?
Dude, half the shit you click on this website, you get nothing.
That's Michigan, man.
Somebody should redo this.
You can reach out to them. The Kobe Wagyu beef jerky, 1 pound, $25.
The best place to buy jerky here is at Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's?
Have you ever been to Buc-ee's?
No, spicy cowboy beef, also $25 a pound. So it's like a $25 a pound jerky, man.
You ever been to Buc-ee's?
No. What is Buc-ee's?
You should go to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is a gas station.
In Austin?
In Texas.
I was going to say, do I need to come all the way to Texas just to go to Buc-ee's?
I think so. They may be in Oklahoma as well.
And what makes this gas station the finest gas station in all of the land?
I think you need to look up Buc-ee's on the internet to see that for yourself.
I don't know. I don't want to be on another list.
On a gas station list you don't want to be on?
I don't want to be on
You're
any
beyond
list.
Paranoid, dude.
Bacon jerky, $19 a pound. Bacon jerky cheaper.
Yeah, I would not eat raw bacon, though.
No, it's not raw bacon. You've never had bacon jerky?
I don't think so.
Oh, bacon jerky can be really good.
I don't think that's halal, is it?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Buc-ee's is these gas stations are something else. They have around 100 pumps. And
so it's spelled Bucee.
Yeah, Buc-ee.
That does not come across in the audible part. I like the character though.
Yeah, he's a beaver.
Which, I mean, when you think gas, you think beaver.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't think beaver.
Huh.
You can get a career at Buc-ee's. You can join their team and grow with them.
They pay well. They do pay well. They actually have their salaries posted right as you walk in the store.
Are they like the Costco of gas stations?
They are the Costco of gas stations. That's a good way to describe it. If you look at some of the images, you can see how humongous the inside of the stores is.
They are in Alabama. They're in Florida. They're in Georgia. They're in Kentucky, South Carolina, Tejas. Lots and lots and lots in Tejas.
South Carolina. I didn't realize they went that far east.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, Buc-ee's is a great place. I always take anybody that comes to Texas. I always take them to Buc-ee's. Let them pay for my gas.
Richmond, Kentucky, I would guess would be the closest one to us. Could make a little trip.
You could do a trip. And certainly if you are on a trip anywhere near, I would make a little bit of an extra detour just to stop at a Buc-ee's. But it's about like the gas station store where you pay for gas and pick up snacks is about the size of a Walmart.
It is 6 hours away. So I'll be there in 6 hours, man. I'm going to Buc-ee's.
Perfect. Well, I like to hear that.
Or I can fly there for an hour. It's an hour and 20-minute flight, only $500.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good deal right there. They have I can't remember how many, but probably 15, 20 flavors of fountain soda.
Oh, so you could just like suicide yourself.
Oh, totally. Although we don't use that word on YouTube. And that word will get the video taken down.
Really? Wow.
Yep. That is one of the banned words on YouTube.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And
it's been nice knowing you, YouTube.
They also have 5 or 6 different flavors, 5, 6, 8 they have a lot of flavors of what do you call those drinks? Like Frosty or
like ices or whatever
slushy.
you call them. Yeah, slushies.
Yeah, like a icy soda drink.
They've got car washes. They've got a kitchen. Oh my goodness!
Really good. Well, here at least they have really good pulled pork sandwiches. They've got barbecue. They've got obviously burgers.
So when is your first meetup out there at a Buc-ee's?
We probably should do a meetup at a Buc-ee's. That's a great idea.
Meet Gene at Buc-ee's. Mm-hmm. I mean, you kind of look like the Buc-ee, the guy on. Do they sell T-shirts?
If anybody on this show looks more like a Buc-ee, it's not me.
Put a beard on Buc-ee.
Just look at your avatar, buddy.
Yeah, put a beard on Buc-ee, man. It is so you.
No, but it is a neat gas station. It is for sure an experience, and they build them just like the what I'm trying to think of other stores, like a Cabela's. You ever been to Cabela's? Do you have those?
That's like the other big
like a men's store.
Yeah,
sporting goods.
Yeah.
So Cabela's does this. Buc-ee's do the same thing, where they go out of town to where the property values are ridiculously low. They can build a large store for the same amount of money you'd pay for a small store closer to the city. So if you ever need to go to a Cabela's, the Cabela's are usually about 15, 20 minutes outside of town. And the Buc-ee's are as well, but that makes total sense because they're kind of like the interstate gas station. So you're, like if I drive from here to Houston, or if I drive, San Antonio, there is a Buc-ee's, don't really need it because it's so damn close to Austin anyway. But anywhere between large cities, there's usually a Buc-ee's.
Yeah. And we have their, it's Bass Pro Shops out here too. Cabela's, their same.
Yep. Same thing.
We've got a couple.
It is, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that's the same chain now. It used to be two separate chains where Bass Pro and Cabela's were competing against each other. And I believe that Bass Pro actually bought Cabela's.
Yeah, they got a big one out here in the outlet mall that is like right across the street from Six Flags.
That is very typical. Same thing in Dallas. It's kind of funny you say that because in Dallas, the Bass Pro is literally across the street from the outlet mall.
You got to have it, man.
Yeah, that's the other type of business that like goes out of town because it's cheap land to build their mall.
Hey, you want some clothing from styles years gone by? Go to the outlet mall.
Well, I don't even know about.
You want to get a big pretzel?
The season. There's a really good outlet, probably one of the best outlet malls I've ever been to is between Austin and San Antonio.
I just miss when you used to be able to go to the old, especially downtown Chicago, Rose Records, the record stores, Tower Records.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was fun. Now you just go online for your music. It's not anywhere near as fun.
Yeah, you don't go anywhere. You just do a search in your iPhone and
then it's there.
Get your music. Yeah.
And you're listening. No. Yep. Getting some vinyl today. I think a Police album that I pre-ordered like months ago.
Get some Grimes on vinyl.
Grimes?
Mm-hmm.
What is Grimes?
You're not even listening to the whole show, are you?
Grimes on vinyl.
Yeah.
What is Grimes?
Grimes is Elon Musk's baby mama.
Oh, I didn't know she was a singer?
Oh my God. You literally were not listening to the entire show, have we?
You were talking about Elon Musk. It all just went, over, eyes glaze over.
Mm-hmm. I knew you were blind. I didn't realize you were deaf as well.
No, I can hear really well.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear really well. That came in handy at the eye doctor because while I was sitting in the room for the,
you overheard somebody else reading the chart and you memorized it.
Yeah, well, that would see, that's easy enough.
Okay.
Because those never change. So, I mean, if you really want to beat that system, that's,
you order one from Amazon and you memorize it.
It's not hard to do. It's just with a, it's just a monitor now anyway.
Mm-hmm. Is it? Yeah.
Which is like,
I need to go to the eye doctor.
I don't like the Well, it's not that I don't like having the eyes dilated. It's just the whole rest of the day is screwed because looking at screens or anything, it's not easy.
Really?
Everything is like washed out. But as I was sitting there after I had my eyes dilated, I heard the doctor go into the other little room where they were looking at the pictures that they had taken of the eye. And I heard him say my name and stable. And I was like, oh, cool. So even though it took like another 20 minutes for him to get
about a horse, man.
Yeah, kind of. It was like, okay, I knew at least what was coming. And it's like, I always, you got to hope for stable, man, because I don't want them poking around in the eye anytime soon.
No, for sure.
Went through enough of that. So it's like, yeah, that's always and it's like, yeah, if you're going to have an issue, you'll see more floaters. You'll see the flashing lights. You'll see, all sorts of fun stuff. So it's usually if you're not having symptoms, but I still get a little nervous after what I dealt with the last multi-retinal detachment fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So it was good. It was always good.
My father invented a device for being able to look at your own inside of your own eye.
Well, that is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called?
It's called a device for looking at the inside of your own eye.
That's the technical term.
Well, in Russian it is, yeah.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. And I mean,
but it's pretty freaky because you do literally, when you look at it, like you can see what's inside your eye very clearly and in focus.
Well, it's amazing what they can see just as far as the back of the eye, the retina, every little, it's like looking at a alien landscape, really.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that they monitor, it's like, well, we're seeing a little tugging here. And it's like, you realize what they're talking about is like so minute, but they're looking at any little movement because I guess they know what happens if the movement keeps going. Then that's when you get tears and detachments, and business is good, man, which was the same thing for the first surgeon I had who couldn't get
a lot of people in there.
Oh my God. Constantly. Business is good.
Okay.
I guess it happens a lot. I mean, if you're lucky, it's it's a quick thing to reattach, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the technology is amazing for what they can see. And now the fact that they've got all of this stuff computerized where you do the same test 4 months, 6 months, a year later, the computer is now able to tell you exactly what's going on. It's not even like you need a doctor that's all that good.
Oh, yeah. Well, doctor, I've been saying this for a while. At this point, in at least first world countries, doctor is really not a doctor. They're really somebody that pulls up information from a computer and makes sure that the tests that you're getting are the right tests that you should be getting.
Right.
But it's progressively less and less actual experience that a doctor needs to have. And I think it'll get to a point where, like some TV shows where we have computer doctors.
Well, and I could see that being the case.
And I think most people would trust WebMD more than they would their own doctor anyway.
If you had the ability to do the tests yourself too, especially, yes.
Well, you do. I mean, that's the thing is you don't need a prescription to go get a test. You can literally get any kind of test done without a prescription. Now, getting insurance to pay for it without a prescription is a different question.
That is the trickier part.
But could you avoid having a doctor and still get medical stuff? Yes, you could.
Probably. Well, I mean, the interesting thing with the retinal guy is that he's the one that does the surgeries, but it's kind of surprising that he's the one that does all of the other stuff as well, because you would think your specialty, I mean, if you're the guy that's good at going in there and poking around and doing the surgery on things that are as sensitive as an eye, but I guess it makes sense that you'd still want to be the one seeing the patients.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
I mean, I
need to do that. I haven't been to an optometrist for a while.
I mean, it's amazing just telling the stories. There's guys that I know that, you could be a Hell's Angel that is afraid of nothing. You start talking about somebody putting needles and stuff in your eye. I've noticed that's the thing that makes people the most squeamish, which always just kind of makes me.
Needles?
Well, the going into the eye part, the whole here's what we're going to do. We're going to take especially doing which was the thing that finally kept the retina up. Unfortunately, it was something that it should have been done first. I think
they stapled it.
Kind of. They used basically like an O-ring. They put an O-ring into the eye, and then they put that along the retina, and then they kind of sew that in, and it's like you're like, how the hell are you doing that? And I know years ago they were talking about how they were more advanced over in Europe because they don't have the same restrictions that we have in the United States. So it's interesting
they could
to
just
watch.
Take an eye out somebody else and put it into you now.
That would be nice. I'm waiting for that because that's kind of what I need. I need retinal replacement, which nobody, I guess, has come up with a easy and quick way to do that, which is to take a retina that's been totally borked with multiple lasers and surgeries and all that, which is...
either that or grow it out of stem cells.
Right. Well, that's also something I know that they're working on. But that's kind of what we're waiting for. If that ever happens, then I can get the vision in the right eye back.
Like a visor like Jordy.
Yes. Which that would be cool, too, if it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly don't mind the technology. I've worn glasses my whole life.
Vision and ultraviolet vision.
That would be awesome.
Well, how cool would that be?
It would be. Well, people would be wanting that to replace their regular vision at that point.
Oh, hell yeah. Cyborg away, man.
Uh-huh. Like, I want to be able to see 14 miles away. I want to be able to read the space shuttle when it's in orbit. When
it's no longer in existence. Exactly.
Yeah, you want to go back in time, baby.
You want to use the goggles to go back in time?
Another thing that would be great
I'm feeling
in the
like
80s.
Either we're going to have some positive comments or we're going to have really low download numbers next time, because this whole show has just been us yapping about food products, medical stuff.
Isn't that what we do? That's why we're unrelenting.
But there's literally nothing unrelenting in the show at all today.
We are.
There's
well,
no
our
topics. There's
our
no
attitudes.
Politics. There's no Hollywood drama. There's none of that.
Do people really want Hollywood drama or politics?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I don't think they do. I think people just want a good conversation.
I mean, we know they want the rock and roll pre-show. We know that.
Yeah. Because we have a lot of fun with the rock and roll pre-show.
If somebody did a little rock and roll pre-show before this show, maybe that would get some more folks.
I did 20 minutes today, but I was just playing, Russian marches and stuff
Well, how about you do an hour of the good stuff?
The good stuff to get people rocking and rolling and ready for the unrelenting conversation, which can go in
mostly
any direction.
Grocery shopping and gas station and medical talk.
Right. We're talking about Buc-ee's and jerky and, but that's the beauty of it. That is what I used to tune into all the time. Steve Dahl. And it was just, granted, I was a more captive audience because that was at a point where you were in the car or at work.
Yeah.
And radio was where it was at. Podcasts weren't really a thing. So we're going back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed those shows, which were just conversations about anything. Not, I want to listen to politics all the time. Not, I want to listen to.
Some gas stations had the very typical DJ morning show zoo stuff, but the other style of morning shows were the conversational morning shows.
Right. You said gas stations, but I don't know if you meant they had the morning shows. But that's the difference.
What did I say? Gas stations.
You just said the gas stations used to have the morning. Some gas stations used to have the morning shows. I'm like, what are you talking? You have gas station on the brain.
Gas station. Yeah, I must. No, what was I thinking? Some radio station is what I meant.
And I used to listen to Jonathan Brandmeier in the morning in Chicago here. I remember being in junior high in the morning. Yeah. And Jonathan Brandmeier's the guy. And I know I've talked about this before, but at the beginning of every No Agenda show, there's the voice that comes on in the intro that they've been using for decades now, it seems, that goes, hey, it's Crackpot and Buzzkill. That's Jonathan Brandmeier. And
I thought that was Stewie Griffith and Brian.
No, it's Crackpot and Buzzkill, Jonathan Brandmeier. was the crackpot. He was also the hyper rooster, but his longtime news guy that was with him forever on Chicago's Loop and elsewhere was Buzz Kilman. And he was always the guy that would he would be the voice of reason. If Johnny was doing a bit, somebody's like, hey, Johnny, we just caught a possum in one of these traps. It's sitting out there on our porch. And Johnny's like, oh, I want to hear what the possum sounds like. So, I'll bring the phone out. And the guy puts the phone out by the possum, and the possum's not making any noise. And Johnny's like, oh, do something to like shake the cage, kick the possum. And out of nowhere, the voice of reason from Buzz would come out. No, sir, don't kick the possum.
That's what I just said. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. So basically no agenda stole that.
Yeah. Somebody put that together for them. And I mean, I recognized the voice immediately. And that was a bit for a long time, Crackpot and Buzzkill, because the guy's name was Buzz.
Yeah.
But
so
Johnny,
yeah, no, that makes sense.
He was the morning zoo kind of guy that would do the crazy bits, and they would make phone calls and run. They had a Piranha Man in the Wheel of Meat. So they would spin the Wheel of Meat, see what you would win. So that was the wacky kind of bit. But then you had the Steve Dahl type, he was on mornings at certain points. But when they shared the same station as Brandmeier, it would be Johnny B in the morning and then Steve Dahl in the afternoon for the, it was talk radio, but it wasn't talk radio like, let's talk about, Johnny Depp. It was, let me tell you what my kids have been up to and what I had for dinner. And I always liked that. So, I mean, that's kind of what I think this has morphed into at this point is you and I just talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
Well, we kind of do. And I think that we were trying to have a little more focus. Not that we planned anything ever, but we did try and have a little more focus on current issues in the past. But honestly, we both have other shows that we really pour all our, attention into.
And I think people are tired of that.
Kind of just hey, we haven't talked for a week. Let's just catch up and see what kind of gas station you should go to or where your eyeballs are at.
If I could buy a new eyeball at the gas station, I'm there.
Well, if there is ever a gas station that sells eyeballs, it's probably going to be Buc-ee's.
Like, hey, buy whatever kind you want. All sorts of different types. I mean, can you pick up a hooker at Buc-ee's too? Is there's like a whole full service?
It's not a Vegas thing. Jesus
not
Christ, dude.
It's been a long. Okay, it hasn't been a long time since I've been to
What's the last
Vegas.
Hooker you picked up? That's what I'd like to know.
Never,
Mister. Can you pick up a hooker?
They're way too expensive.
That's right.
I mean,
in Vegas they are.
It was the bit of that was one of the jokes I remember from 2.5 Men, where Alan, the nerdier of the characters, was like, "Oh, what can I get for $50 or something like that?" And Charlie Sheen's character was like chlamydia.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that's good.
Not that we're suggesting anything here, but in Vegas,
chlamydia is not worth getting.
No, there's a lot of things it's even worse than COVID, I would bet.
I don't know, man. I think you could probably treat it pretty quick.
Well, there you go. Then maybe.
Never had it, but don't really want to.
I was going to say, were you looking for an offer? Gene's looking for chlamydia. Get in touch with him at the meetup at Buc-ee's in Austin.
Buc-ee's. Yeah, exactly.
The chlamydia meetup.
Oh, God.
But yeah,
exactly.
I like the no holds barred concept. And if people want to hear more politics, let us know. If you want to hear more tech, let us know. But
we have shows for that.
Yes,
let us know.
There's a variety of shows out there that you can go to for these things. And, we'll figure out, we'll hit on something that works eventually, or we won't.
Or we won't. Yeah. I mean, look, I enjoy talking to you, even if nobody's listening.
And that's kind of the way we're basing the show.
Yeah.
Although oddly enough, going strictly by downloads, I looked today.
Nobody's listening.
This is the most downloaded show I do. But it is the least
downloaded
supported.
And the least donated to.
Yes.
So my suggestion of don't donate has actually worked.
Maybe people listen to you.
Apparently they do.
This is a hot take right here.
Yeah. Now you're getting at some truth.
Yes, people are listening. Gene's like, do not waste your money on this show.
Really, it's a waste of money, guys.
Buy yourself food. Put some food on your table.
At this point in life, I mean, if you're donating to a podcast, you better make sure you got $100,000 sitting in the bank.
And if you do, and you have that, then feel free to come in as an Insta oligarch. That was, we figured like that was what, like $1,500 that, because it was,
it probably is going to be less than that.
It was like 1,000 rubles or something like that. It was,
1,000 rupees. Yeah. It was 100,000 rubles, I think.
I think so. And so to be an
Instagark, $1,500, it's probably more like 2,000 today.
Be an Instagark. That's where you want to be
before too long.
Yeah. But you do get to be in a very elite club if you become an Instagark.
Well, and I'll tell you, I certainly recommend that people watch that clip that I posted on No Agenda Social. If you missed it when it went through the stream, all you got to do is click on my beautiful face on there.
Oh, you have more than one?
It'll show all of the posts that I've made.
And it was on No Agenda Tube, which is also a streaming service that nobody's using.
Tube, but nobody's using No Agenda Tube. I mean, other than linking to it. I think it is great because it allows you to, upload stuff like this.
You mean things that might be taken down for copyright infringement?
That's correct. Exactly right.
Right. I like that. Although Tim Pool should be happy because you give the guy...
I'm promoting the hell out of him. Exactly. And I did post a comment on the show that preceded this Tim Pool After Hours show saying that After Hours really needs to be posted publicly because it's the best Tim Pool episode ever.
Wow, the best ever. That is more than high praise.
So.
I will have to check it out.
It's the best one ever. Yeah.
Now, can I watch it at like 14 times speed to absorb it quicker?
It's just clip. It's not the full episode.
Oh, then I can probably, what's it, like 3-4 minutes?
Yeah, like 10.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
What will I learn from the clip?
I don't know. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I don't know what you would learn, but
so you're posting things just so I don't learn?
I mean, most things I post aren't for learning; they're for enjoyment.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have to start doing more. I would rather than listen to Tim Pool, I would rather start doing daily videos on YouTube.
Well, you're more than welcome to do that as well, but.
The one-eyed guy reads the news.
To me, this was two things. One was Tim saying the exact same shit that I've been saying for a long time.
Well, okay, this is why it is confirmation bias coming out of Gene saying, look, somebody agrees with me.
And the other thing is that it is completely the opposite of what a fence-sitting What's the other phrase that people call him?
Well, there are a lot of people that are saying he is just a wannabe, that he's not.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Whatever. I mean, the guy's probably got the 4th largest talk show on YouTube. And people are still bitching about him. And then I don't like him. It's like, look, I don't watch what's his face anymore. The guy that lives here.
Adam Curry?
Rogan. I don't watch Rogan anymore. So Rogan stopped being interesting to me. His guests are not interesting, and he's been mostly, ever since he got a lot richer, he's become a lot less interesting because he's not really even interested in what the guests are saying. He's just going through the motions because he has a contract.
Yes,
that's
have
my
no
impression.
name.
That may not be true, but that's my impression.
A milquetoast fence sitter.
Yeah, milquetoast fence sitter. The last few times I watched him, that was what he looked like to me. And I don't
never been into Rogan.
Continuing to watching. I used to enjoy watching him, especially. I watched most of the Rogan episodes that had scientists on them. I didn't really watch the ones with the comedians.
I watched Adam Curry and Ted Nugent.
Okay.
That's about it. That I can remember.
Why hasn't Adam Curry and Ted Nugent, why haven't they been on a show together?
Oh, see, now Adam Curry and Ted Nugent on a show?
Mm-hmm.
Now that would be a rock and roll pre-show worthy show.
Ted's a pretty articulate guy.
Yeah. He has just started a YouTube channel. He's doing nightly stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You got to get Adam on there.
You got to find.
Let's work on that, guys.
Yes.
Anyway, we got to wrap up. So hopefully you all enjoyed whatever
the show was.
This as. Yeah, whatever this show was.
And they could do it in person too, because Ted's down there in Texas by you guys.
Is he now? I thought he was in Michigan.
No, he's got a ranch out in Texas somewhere. So this could be we got to get you and Adam out there.
Oh yeah, I'd be up for that. I'd be up for a little beef jerky action.
Oh, Uncle Ted will get you the best damn jerky you can get.
I kind of believe that. Exactly.
But we will be back for whatever this show is. I mean, it's unrelenting and being
It is
unrelenting.
unrelenting. You see, I kept forgetting what it's called. So
It's not relenting.
I didn't say relenting. I said unrelenting
When did you say it, though?
just now.